The desert air was heavy, cloaked in silence, a quiet so deep it seemed to swallow sound itself. A lone figure stood silhouetted against the rugged landscape, eyes fixed on the distance where darkness pooled in the valleys. The town behind him lay waiting, breath held tight as they counted on this final stand. After countless attacks, sightings, and brushes with death, they had reached the edge. There was no running this time, only the relentless resolve to end this. As he prepared himself, thoughts flickered back to the twisted bodies of livestock and the hollowed carcasses that littered the sand, grotesque remnants of the creature's path. He knew now that this wasn't just a myth. This creature, the Chupacabra, was as real as the blood it spilled and as hungry as the fear it incited. But this time, he wasn't alone. A few brave townsfolk, weary from sleepless nights, gathered, armed with makeshift weapons and nerves stretched thin, ready to face the terror lurking in the shadows. Minutes turned to hours, yet time seemed irrelevant in the suspenseful quiet of the desert. Suddenly, a low growl slithered through the darkness, chilling their bones. It was a sound unlike any other, neither wolf nor bear, something alien, something hungry. Heartbeats quickened, breaths shallow, as the beast emerged from the depths of the night, a phantom with glinting eyes, lurking just beyond their reach, its form obscured by shadows that danced with every shift of moonlight. A blinding light pierced the dark as flashlights beamed toward the creature. The Chupacabra's eyes gleamed with an eerie glow, reflecting a primal hunger that sent a shiver through their spines. This wasn't a mindless beast, it seemed to know their fear, to revel in the terror that clung to the air. One of the townsfolk raised his weapon, but before he could act, the creature darted forward, a blur of claws and fangs, moving faster than anything they'd ever seen. Chaos erupted. Flashlights scattered, panic rippled through the group, and the desert became a scene of desperate survival. He watched in horror as the creature wove between them, unseen until the last second when it struck. Fear was a tangible thing, filling the air as one by one, people were separated, stranded in the dark. But he knew he couldn't let terror control him. He steadied himself, breath heavy, eyes scanning, ready to fight to the bitter end. Finally, he caught sight of it, just a flash of its form as it lunged toward him. Heart pounding, he raised his weapon and unleashed a desperate strike. But the Chupacabra moved with unnatural speed, evading effortlessly, leaving only the stench of decay and a sinister chuckle that seemed to echo through the night. Was it playing with them? His resolve wavered, fear clawing at his mind. But in that moment, a chilling realization dawned. The creature didn't need to kill them all. It only needed to feed. And this was only the beginning. As the night wore on, they realized the true horror. It was toying with them, herding them further from safety, deeper into the endless expanse of the desert. They were trapped, caged by an unseen predator that knew every inch of this territory far better than they could ever hope to. Desperation gnawed his spirit as he watched the shadows close in, as the growls grew louder and the creature seemed to multiply. But he had to hold on, had to fight. Because the dawn was their only hope. They say dawn brings light, but in the face of the Chupacabra, who would live to see it? As the first hint of sunlight crept over the horizon, they made a final, desperate stand. But did they survive? Or did the creature claim them all, leaving only a haunting silence? The desert holds its secrets well, and perhaps this will be one more tale buried beneath the sands. Do you believe?